but it is kind of rough here because you'd love to have gone that yourself, as this was a thing that has actually, I know Keria has played. I think he's going to last minute swap to Nautilus or Rel.
Maybe they're taunting Gen.G because they're like, oh no, our coach actually does have their headset plugged in. And so it's not going to be the Nidalee, it's going to be the Renata.
I also know he played it himself. So like, I'm like double spear, like a spear and an arrow for a Xayah, but I also think that maybe, you know, that's like a game 4 thing.
It might have been a bridge too far or something like that. Renata going to come in, and so going to be able to deal with the Rakan relatively effectively.
I have a hard time imagining more perfect drafts for either team.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe Kenyon on the carry, but Kenyon has been also a big tank player recently.
Ooh,
so we have
warning going on the side of T1. We'll see whether that affects them. Moving here into game number 1. We'll see whether they can take down a Gen.G. Imagine if they do it on red side. Let's get into it. And LOL Park erupts as the T1 fan chants ring through. Of course, Gen.G, loads of fans as well. And so things are getting heated, one could say, both figuratively and actually, here in LOL Park. All right, let's see whether any early game shenanigans do occur. We can see right now it is largely a defensive start. Doran with a potential roam over. Could be a little bit frightening. But we'll just be able to move back towards this top side of the map.
Why?
What does it all mean?
Keen is playing on the range, right? Like,
he is, yeah. All right, Canyon will be just completing his next full clear. He's going to be the Grump going down. We'll see whether he does actually elect to go for anything. As we can see, the Mountain Drake has already been started by T1. Owner in position.
Yeah, we have kind of opposite stories here, where on Gen.G, Keen is going to try and apply as much pressure in lane as he can, whereas Doran is looking to outskill, and then for Gen.G, it's the opposite.
Yep.
All that Gen.G bot lane wants to do is get to a point where they can just eat up these waves.
That's all right. Faker dashing forward here. Remember, Chovy, no flash available. The Charm is still going to go wide. Great sidestep as he throws Faker under the turret. The Sand Soldiers come out, and Chovy is well and truly okay. Faker looking a little worse for wear at the end of this one.
What a sequence there. So if I caught it correctly, so Chovy tried to shuffle out, then Faker flashed to cancel the dash, but then both the Charm and the W from Xin went wide. So Chovy still survives. The flash is invested.
And the flash is going to come back up now earlier.
So, Faker blocks the dash, but then the Charm misses, the W misses.
Yeah, and he's just like, no flash.
Ice
Canyon might be able to defend this control ward, and in fact he can. Chovy with some priority here in this mid lane. And right now, Chovy, the big difference here in this game, with that extra priority, with that extra control. But here on the top side, Ruler gonna actually give up on these caster minions, and Canyon able to take that one away.
Mistake from Owner.
Yeah, no smite necessary.
Owner, a little early in the smite there. I think it was down to 40 health. Kenyon got it with the big rock.
Yep. Sometimes all you need to do is throw a rock at it, and that's going to solve your problems. I wouldn't use that at all in real
life. Great life advice, sadly.
Yeah, not very good life advice. As Chovy not wanting to face check Faker, who's charming, but not charming enough against this guy's Zia. And Owner will be able to secure the majority of the grubs in the end. So that is going to be kill credit. 2 objectives already done. As Keen.
Or I thought Gen.G was going to pivot towards the bot side, but instead might be looking for a punish here towards Doran. Wanting to let this Dragon go. Knows T1 is always going to play for that.
Yep. Over he goes. Canyon just going to drive the Scion back. And remember, he used the ulti to get to lane. So he's just going to get impaled and destroyed. That's going to be first blood going over to Canyon. They do trade the Dragon for it. But as you said, maybe not necessary to exactly fight for that one. As another Chemtex or Orcs, what the heck, dude? You're in the space right now.
I think he's too busy thinking of how to roast me, and he's not doing his job properly.
And Gen.G need to wait a little bit longer before we reach that point. And even then, if Doran's in a good spot, then that may never come.
It's so interesting. This is really a game one. You know, this is either only game ones or game fives feel like this.
It feels like a jostling for position.
Because in game one, you're kind of filling each other out. And unless either team is you know, in a much more spot, I think that generally those games are slower. And then in game five, it's the pressure. FAKER
He just slammed into the wall. The Impale as well. He had absolutely no option. Nothing he was allowed to do. The utilization of the built terrain there, gorgeous from Gen.G. And FAKER is going to be punished for being underneath his outer turret in the bottom lane. The answer is going to be there, though, and this is something that T1 have been very, very good, trading FAKER for other stuff. And that is going to occur. Some plates do go on over.
They get a good amount of pressure on mid. They're also able to send Doran towards, but that still means they remember down. And guess what? Doran is entering bot wave. FAKER doesn't have TP. Keen is going to feast, even as demolished. Gen.G just keep doing this for 10 minutes, and T1 never gets to play the game.
Yeah. And then,
those are kind of the two
Or they do it
I
until the Nexus explodes on the other side of the map, is kind of, I assume, what they're going to try and do here. As the Charm is going to connect onto Canyon, who's looking to drive away. FAKER gets in front of him. Great handshake to keep him in position. But not too much more is going to come through, and this is what happens when he takes all of the kills. It's going to be a Charm connecting. Chains of Corruption come down as well with the target presented. And Keen, he's definitely killable as out goes Ona. And they're able to just take the Jace from underneath the unkillable Skarner.
Some pretty big mistakes there, actually. Kind of getting caught off guard. There's first some anti-synergy between T1. And then Keen thinking, well, Canyon's out. I should be fine as well. The re-engage.
Oh dear, Duro flashing for it. Does find the Charm. Hostile takeover is fantastic, though, as Ona possibly separated, but in goes Chovy. Gumayusi not going to get bailed out of this one as Ona gets on top of the Emperor, and the knock-up is there. The 1-2 punches from Gen.G are continuing as finally down goes the Skarner. But I don't know whether Doran is going to be able to do much more. The flash comes out from Chovy to answer. The flash forward from Doran. And Gen.G will find the teamfight victory, and the Rift Herald wasn't even taken.
What a sequence of events!
Was it all a bait in the end?
No, I think Keen just made a mistake. I hope we get that whole reel because, and that's kind of the end of it. Yes, they still take down Canyon, but this is a very favorable trade that I think Gen.G are going to be really happy with. Also, a lot of sums used, and that means no flash for Guma. That's a great fight.
We are fighting immediately as Ona goes in. Already Keen is down, and there goes Duro as well. Out will go Gen.G. They're trying to escape, but FAKER, he is just spirit rushing after Chovy. The Charm once again going to miss, and it's a two-man impale, but there's no one left. Ona will finally, Ruler will finally come in to try and hit Ona, but Ruler's out. He realizes that it's getting too hot in the kitchen as the flash Charm doesn't land. And Chovy will be able to make it out alive. My God, okay, Chovy goes in! He finds Gumayusi and he's looking to try and make his way out those grass backs. Really working overtime, but now he may have put his team in an uncomfortable position. It's Ruler versus 4, and T1 are still running away. You're exactly right, that Featherstorm is so powerful here. As the teleport comes in and T1 say, all right, you can live, Mr. Ruler. No one's taking the Drake, not right about now.
It's the Prestige, Atlas. It's just all misdirection. I keep getting caught off guard. Where is Michael Caine to explain everything?
We need him! Alfred, where are you? Okay, it wasn't Alfred in that movie, he was in a different one.
That's fine, it's the same character.
Yeah.
Still close to 2K. That's parity to me, Atlas.
Yep, and the Rift Herald is going to be attempted again. The amount of ground we got as far as objectives were concerned was 0. But now T1 with the positional advantage, they will be able to take it down. The Dragon was secured by Gen.G, so I tell a little bit of a lie there, but it is an even trade as far as the objectives are concerned. Feats of Strength went over to Gen.G, though, and this is becoming a little bit of an issue. The guy with the hammer in the bottom lane is just really breaking things.
He will not do damage to Doran, though.
Oh, Chains of Corruption. Oh, Ruler able to walk his way out. The good old walk strategy. The problem is he might be in range of the Frozen Heart, which could be a problem. Charm is going to come on through as Ona is going to be discovered here as Canyon holds him in place, but this is just a 1v1 happening in 2 different spots. Emperor's Divide to get rid of him as Chovy says, get away from me. And he says yes. Crescent Guard going to keep Ona alive, and in the end, it's a stalemate.
What I want to highlight, though, is that even though that fight ended up feeling good for Gen.G, because of the kills at the beginning, the gold lead still shrunk. right after that
Yeah.
whole sequence. This, though, with Owner not having his ultimate and have it to back, I think this Otacon is always going to be gone.
Yeah, there's a train.
It's the
Looking
fight
to move
afterwards,
forward.
though.
You're exactly right. So it should be this Otacon going down, but there is the flash forward. A phenomenal knock-up from Doran, and he's getting in amongst it. Canyon trying to drive his way out. Let's see whether Ruler can keep himself alive as the Featherstorm comes in. He flashes away. Will he have the Blade Caller? That's the question. As Gumayushi's underneath the turret, he's got the bailout. He is still going to die, as now Keen is trying to get the work done. And yes, you got the Otacon, but it's a 1 for 3.
Trade favorable for T1 when it comes to kills, but Otacon, particularly in a game as close as this, I think can actually be a really big win if Gen.G gets to use the fighting. This time Chovy is just caught, not ready, and there's no smite, so the objective goes to Gen.G, but the mid lane turret falls. The kills are traded, and T1 rather do a great job of making this gold lead just a little bit smaller as Canyon.
Yeah, looks for the Impale, but sometimes just the raw Impale doesn't really work, and that's going to happen again.
On this Scion, that sets it up.
All right, Carrier gonna have to flash the Empress Divide here. Zona goes in and then goes back out. Understandably so. This game is so action-packed and so close, it's absurd.
It was 10 minutes, 15 minutes of exposition, and now it's action, 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 action. And
Yeah,
guess what?
only.
We're about to fight again.
Control Ward goes in. Keen able to take that one down. Doesn't find the Shock Blast, though. As all right, Doran will get knocked up. Of course, he's very happy to take damage. He's Scion. And Chemtech Dragon, number 2.
No Chovy ult. I think they have to let this one.
Yeah, that's going to be Soul Point.
They're going to let it go. Soul Point going over.
Yeah.
T1 not giving them an open. Went down to 1.
Down to 1, yeah. The Charm is going to miss once again, though, as now fight on a couple of different fronts, as flipping in is Keen and trying to throw away Doran, but he's a brick wall. And now the knockup comes through again, but if you're engaging onto the Scion, it's what T1 wants, unless they're not able to find an inroad. And Doran, he'll try to get bailed out. They will take the Rakan, and the bailout actually works. And now Chovy's trying to free hit. Owner is down so incredibly low. The Shock Plus, they're going to defend him. But still this turret is going to fall. Chovy trying to find the Sand Soldier damage. And they clear out the minion wave. And T1 will be sticking around. It's a 1-for-0 in favor of T1. They take the Dragon as well. They're trading up. The gold is still there for Gen.G. But T1 are still getting what they want in this game.
It's a Thriller Atlas. Canyon still has his Impale. Is going to try and deliver Owner. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful Impale. Still, Kane's going to get traded. It's just trades everywhere. Faker able to pick that one up. Now the hostile takeover just zoning them away. Ruler doing a fair bit of damage here as they're just looking to steal away a bread buff. They will be able to do that as Faker just cannot jump Chovy today. He can't do it. Canyon goes in. He's going to go out via the Death Chamber, and Chovy will find an Emperor's Divide onto 3, but doesn't get Guma, and he will take him down. Ruler here going to have to use a max range ulti, avoiding Faker's damage as well, as Ruler's positioning has been fantastic. But that Blade Caller could have been better. And Gen.G, they will keep a couple alive, but once again, it's a great trade for T1.
Yeah, I was about to...
Well, Duro might be in a little bit of danger here, as he needs to be careful of Carrier. Canyon moving away from Faker, who finds him on a potential flank angle. Wind becomes lightning, and the Battle Dance is going to get Duro out. As Keen wanting to take some pot shots if he can. But look at this, the Doran stand in front of it tactic.
Yeah, they do need Chovy or Ruler. No one else is going to...
Okay, so flash forward as Faker is caught out, and they dive on top of him, but the counter knockup's a fantastic Emperor's Divide. Only onto Owner is good for T1, as Gumayushi looking to get bailed out, and it's going to work, and the charm this time lands. Double kill for Gumayushi, and T1 just leave them in the dirt. Ruler's wondering what the heck happened, and he will use his ult, he will try, but the blade calls nothing, and T1 say it's Baron time.
I'm shocked. I thought they were going to actually look for the end. I've seen T1 do this a million times, but no, instead, they play it safe. We go for Baron, we go for Soul, as Gen.G. That ult from Carrier, I think, ends up being the game decider. This Renata has been such an incredible nuisance for Gen.G.
As it is over 4,000, the lead for them at this stage.
Oh, the win streak of Gen.G.
Yep, remember 18 games had not been done before. They were trying to extend it. And I don't know whether it's going to extend past this. As T1 here in this first game are looking poised to win. Charm gonna go wide as CHOVY finds 3! The Impale does as well, and Ruler is just able to free hit. Down goes Gumayusi. They deal with the turret, but Doran is so incredibly low. CHOVY is still going to die in this fight. Canyon is just trying to keep them interested as T1 look to back away. It's a big fight, but it's only a 2-for-1 thus far. Can Gen.G get more? That's going to be the question as the handshake from Carrier. Oh, lock in the POM already. I don't care who wins.
If I ever see anyone
But that's enough.
say, right? Like, now
Yeah.
this means that they might give up a turret or two, they might fall behind, but that's not going to be enough to ensure that we are not getting an Elder flip for our first game.
Oh, that is what we need. And what Faker said was the situation isn't that bad. That's basically what he said.
It's true.
He's going to find a charm. This situation's bad, but if you're a Gen.G fan, as they eliminate the jungler, and T1, they get rid of the biggest tank on the side of Gen.G as well. Next one going to be CHOVY as far as that is concerned. And so now, Doran just able to stand up. The charm is going to hit the minion. As T1 are just fishing for it. Gen.G have defended this turret pretty expertly, though. As you can see, it has taken and damage, I think.
And the, what probably should be the final fight, Atlas, is about to take off. CHOVY has a stopwatch.
He has his teleport as well, as he's all the way in. Ona taking some shock blast damage, but he doesn't really care about it too much. Remember, Chemtech Soul going to be powerful here as T1 wastes no time. They've started this up. Doran just trying to stand in front. It's looking a little 50-50-ish for now.
As on the ward.
Yeah, spotted on a flank angle, but they also know he's there because they just got hit by a shock blast.
Are we flipping? Are we flipping?
Oh god, we are. We're flipping. It's going to be Canyon that locks down the dragon. Owner is in so much trouble. Empress Divide picks them all up, and it's Gen.G that finds the value. CHOVY can rest easy now as 4 are lying on the floor, and Doran is not going to be able to do it alone. Gen.G not going to be broken in their win streak. They'll move it to 19 instead.
The hardest part of any story is the ending!
It's not even the end, Chronicler!
No, I mean of this game!
It's game 1 of regular season Gen.G versus T1 round 2.
Oh my god. No, but like, that can't be. It's just a flip. Canyon wins. The game is done.
Do you know what it was, Chronicler? It was a flip. Canyon wins. And that's game 1, ladies and gentlemen. The Nexus will be taken down. Oh god, I can't